Here are the current standings in the men's plus 109. B session lifted earlier today. Some names also in that B group that we were used to seeing up here. Mart Same from Estonia competed in the B, apparently recovering from a torn pec.
Yeah.
But some very big lifts earlier today. Speaking of big lifts, the biggest of all big lifts, the world records in the plus 109. Now, prior to the changeover, Lasha Talakhadze had done 220. So the current world record sits at 218. Maybe if we're lucky, guys, we can see those get tested today.
Regardless of what he does, it's a lucky day just to see Lasha on the platform lifting.
100%. Here is our start list, 10 lifters. And, you know, we joked about it before. The stage is 10 meters wide. These guys occupy 1 meter
They're
each.
about a meter each.
I mean, end to end when they are on it. We are in the warm-up room.
And there is Eduard Jazulin, second time seeing him at the World Championships, lifting for Belarus. Pretty healthy opener in the snatch.
Here's Mohsen Dodras. First time we're seeing him at World Championships. Another one from the Islamic Republic of Iran that we just hadn't seen before, and here he is in NA.
They just must grow supers on trees out there.
Fernando Reis of Brazil. Fernando is on the mend from an injury. I'm not sure if we'll see him at peak, but he stands a very good chance of returning to the Olympics. And here is Ruben Alexejev, one of two Armenians in this group, can absolutely factor into the medal picture, as can this man right here, Ali Davuti.
Yeah. He holds all the junior records.
He's still a junior too.
Still a junior world record holder at the moment.
How do you grow so big that young? He's had enough time to get that big.
They've found the time.
Or the calories.
Yeah.
Oof. That is one full room.
They're going to start running out of weights. And there is, from Turkmenistan, Hoja Toychev. Sister lifted earlier this week. 2016 Olympian. They'll be kicking off the session, it looks like.
There is Gore Minassian, silver medalist at the Olympics. And
an absolute beast, man.
A little unconventional in
very interesting style, yeah. But I mean, it's going to say like probably a silver medalist anytime Lasha's on in the room.
Chinese Taipei's Chen Shijia, two-time Olympian.
Walid Badani. Fourth time we're seeing him at Senior Worlds, and there is Lasha. 15, 17, and 18 world champion. Barely misses lifts.
And they just
sets world records.
They look easy.
It's amazing, everything he does. He is already at this point one of the historic super heavyweights of this sport. Really, no question about it.
Yeah, one of the historic athletes, period. Strongest man in the world. Sean, you're still upset he hasn't done the heaviest clean and jerk of all time. But
I am.
You can tell him to his face. I'll let you handle that.
I have no problem with that. I fear no man.
I don't know that Lasha's a man.
But I mean, just, you know, I mean, it's a badge of honor. I mean, that 266 is...
He might have that on his mind. These are the three referees that will adjudicate each lift. Two of the three need to give you a white light for the lift to count. But that's not all. A 5-member jury panel also keeps an eye on each lift. And if they disagree with the referee's decision, they can overturn it if they are unanimous. They also do the video review. Right now in the warm-up room, Lasha and Gore there are two probable finishers, barely even touching the bar. The rest of the athletes taking increasingly heavy warm-up attempts as they wait to be called to the platform for their opening lift. But Sean, I think you're right. I mean, there's no question of Lasha's greatness. But the clean and jerk, the king of lifts, if he wants it to be definitive, I'd argue it might be definitive already, but if he wants it to be definitive, he needs that clean and jerk.
It is for me.
I mean, it's historically the clean and jerk is whoever has the highest clean and jerk is the strongest.
I think you said on the preview show it goes back 4 million years. That
well, I don't know if they were clean and jerking 4 million years ago. But interestingly enough, they found cave drawings of people lifting things in like in a competition.
I am so happy I'm not listening.
So it's, you know, it's part of our DNA.
Putting heavy things overhead is absolutely a part of our DNA. I'm with you there. Right now, Turkmenistan's Toychev, opening attempt 180. If I remember correctly, 1 for 3 last year.
He had a rough go.
Yes. At home.
In the snatch. At
on
home.
a stage
He's
in
got a problem holding on to the bar in the snatch. So,
which you wouldn't expect for a super, but I think he has very thick hands.
He's got really thick hands and short thumbs, and it's a bad combination.
So we are underway in the men's 109 kilo category, plus 109. Hoja Toychev. 180. First attempt.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Last year in Turkmenistan, he opened with and missed that 187, wound up making it on his second. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a pretty big jump. Remember, in this class, that is the norm.
So at the Asian Championships earlier this year, he took a 7 kilo jump, went 180, 187.
Yeah, no shock. All right, so now, Mohsen Dadras, Islamic Republic of Iran. First time we're seeing him on a World Championship stage. 181 kilos, first attempt.
Good lift.
Yeah, it's got a really elongated pull.
Well, I mean, I don't think the bar is big enough for him.
Yeah, he's collar to collar.
He's collar to collar, and he
Yeah.
needs more room. I mean, oddly, the contact point is up in the hip slot, but I mean, he is a huge dude.
Yeah, he is one of the biggest guys in that room, and that's saying something.
Looks like a change going in for him. Is that 186? Looks like.
Yeah.
For Dadras.
And Toychev, by the way, has gone to 87.
So no shock. Yeah, you actually called that. So
Fernando Reis of Brazil, 185. Strongest man in the Pan American Federation.
Yeah, I spoke with him this week, and he's getting over some injuries, and he's not planning on pushing.
Because he's done 200.
He's done 200.
Oh yeah.
At the Pan American game.
And I think he did it at Worlds. Yeah, and he did it at Worlds too. He's in 201 last year.
Correct.
You know, Sean, to your point, I don't think he has to. His road to the Olympics is pretty clear.
He's going to be the #1 super in the Pan American Federation.
If he's not a top 8.
He'll be
and or a top 8.
Right. So, you know, Fernando can just get on the board here, do what he wants. It's really not about placement this year for him, as he, you know, gets himself ready for next year. All right, so now here's Fernando Reis, 185 first attempt.
Casual as 185 thrown over somebody's head can be.
I just love the way he punches out, particularly in the snatch.
He moves really, really well.
You wouldn't think he's a guy who weighs around 140, 150 kilos.
I mean, just when he's on, that's what he does. I mean, I know that this is a weight that's nowhere near a max for him, but you just see the movement, the speed, everything.
Actually, his coach is also an official IWF photographer here this week.
191.
Wow. So hey, he's getting near. That's
He's not playing.
95% of his best.
I mean, not pushing is probably going to be seen in the clean and jerk.
Gotcha.
Chen Shixie, Chinese Taipei, first attempt, 185.
Good lift.
Yeah. A little off to the side, I think. Good lift. Fast.
Yeah.
Fast explosion, like fast hips. It's nice.
So he gets on the board with that. Bar goes to 186 with the second attempt of one of two Iranians in the session.
Is it Dadras coming back?
Yep.
186. Looks like the weight on the bar for the second attempt of Mohsen Dadras.
Conservative
Republic of Iran.
jump there.
5 kilos is conservative when we're talking supers.
Yeah.
From a first to a second, yeah. Possibly.
Maybe.
Good lift.
Looks like
Does a great job getting the elbows up.
Yep.
You know, with the arms that long, you really got to control the barbell as far as how far away it goes from you. And he does a really great job mitigating that by keeping those elbows up.
so. It looks like Hoja Toychev is going to come out here for his second attempt. 7 kilo jump from his opening weight, and if we haven't mentioned it, right now 189 kilos is the lead. Man Assad from Syria.
Out of the B group.
Toychev 2 for 2. No.
There's a tiny bit of movement on that right arm. I thought he was going to get it.
That looked like shoulder, man.
Yeah, no, it's really slight.
I know we favor the lifters. I know we do. But that time I think we're right. They're going to challenge this one possibly. They need to do it. Well, Toychev is the lifter, so.
Is there a time limit?
Yeah, so the later of the introduction of the next lifter or when that lifter is on stage.
Got it.
In this case, Hoja Toychev is the next lifter, so he's not going to go on the stage and ruin his own challenge. Right. But like, let's just say, for example, Alexejev, who is next behind Toychev, if he stepped on stage after the clock started, no more.
Got it.
So here's the jury taking a look at this.
Let's see hand.
The jury will use the video replay technology to review the second attempt of Koichi.
Especially this hand. Yes. Okay. No lift.
No lift.
No press out.
No lift. The jury is siding with the referees.
All right.
So the Turkmen team loses
I do
their
think that's a good
challenge
spot to throw that card in, though.
Yeah.
So Hoja Toychev, here's the no lift second attempt.
The right arm.
All right.
Listen,
Maybe
I'm with you, JP.
Folding a little bit on that.
I'm with you. I think it's a good lift. I think I can understand why they went that way.
I would like to see the jury not insert themselves.
I do
into
see
the
that movement
competition.
now, though, on that last replay. I get it. I just, yeah. All right, well, it looks like Toychev is going to move up.
But that I don't think they should do.
189 is going to keep him on the bar.
I don't. Yeah. I don't quite understand that jump, but maybe they have a plan.
You'd hope.
One would hope.
Well, it matches the B session, so 189 would actually move him into second right now.
As a percentage, too, as you've mentioned, Sean, at these weights, it's very small. It's about 1%, right?
Yes.
That can make a difference.
Right. It's not nothing, but
Yeah, exactly.
The problem is, historically, I could find like 2 or 3 occasions where he's made a 32.
and there's that.
5, but over a long stretch of time. Third attempts tend to get him, so we will see here. So Hoja Toychev, 189, third attempt.
What are they going to do there?
2-1 again.
That's a tough series.
I don't know how much more you could do. Like,
No.
You know, I mean,
It's so tight.
that one is better.
And they've already used their challenge.
Yeah.
And, you know, here's the thing, though. The jury can, under its own volition, look at it again if they would like to.
Well, then that would be, yeah.
And it looks like they're going to leave it alone. That is awfully stiff.
Yeah, that's really rough. You know, I could maybe see the previous ruling, but this one, I think he tightened that up. And if you don't pass that, what do you pass?
Right.
You know, now you've set the bar maybe artificially or impossibly high. Ali Davoudi, meanwhile, he's our one junior competitor in this session. 190 kilos.
Junior.
Yeah.
There's nothing junior about him.
No.
No.
He's the record holder in all 3 disciplines.
And there's
Junior
nothing
world record
junior about
holder.
190.
Yeah.
197 is the record, his record as a junior.
Well, let's see if that's going to be the record all day by the time this snatch competition is over.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see.
We can be north of 197.
Yeah, 200 maybe out of him.
That looked very nice, and that doorway is too short for him.
The world is too short for him, I
He
think.
is an absolute behemoth. I mean, that's the first time we had to see somebody duck to get into the walkway.
I don't know how those chairs are surviving in that room.
Yeah.
Especially since you already broke
I've
one.
broken 2 chairs.
And you're not that
And I'm not
size.
that big.
198 for Davoudi on his second 8-kilo increase. But again, about 4%. Right now, Chun Chi-Chia of Chinese Taipei, 190 kilos on the bar.
Nice lift.
Yeah.
These guys are getting it done. 2 for 2. 190 on the board now for Chen Shishie. Most I could find on him was 195 back in Houston in 2015. I wouldn't be shocked if we see a crack at that.
That's great.
Maybe. Took a 5-kilo jump. No, excuse me. Yeah, he took 5 kilos, so another 5-kilo jump. He's coached by Coach Lin, the guy in the sharp tan vest there, and he's a solid strategist and a very savvy coach in general.
Coach Quo.
That's right. Whoa, who's world champion for the 4th time.
A dramatic
193.
third
lift,
clean and
yeah.
jerk.
Right now,
Loosen
Dadras,
Dadras, yep.
190.
4-kilo jump.
So the problem with having really long arms is that it just takes a long time for the bar to get there, and if your arms aren't fast, you're gonna miss your opportunity.
Did you notice right before the bar came off the ground that he looked?
Yes.
What was it, left to
Yes. Was he looking at the clock?
there? You see that, the little peak? He just did that over at the clock right before he started it, and he hadn't cared in the prior 2 attempts. And sometimes that's a bit of a tell, right?
Sure. I mean, if you do something out of the ordinary,
Any deviation.
Yeah, and
can
he was
sometimes-
thinking about it a little, and then he peaked, and you could see the focus wasn't on point the way the prior 2 had been. All right, so now Badani, 191.
Good opener.
if I'm not mistaken, he's got some problems in the clean and jerk, doesn't he? In the jerk.
I'll
in
find
the jerk.
it. Yeah,
He's
if
got
I
a
remember
weird foot,
correctly.
something weird going on with his feet.
Okay.
Nice opener there.
He is on the board here with 191.
Yes. Excellent snatch.
Did bomb in the clean and jerk last year.
So
at
yeah,
the
you
World
might be remembering
Championships.
something there. We'll see. But Badani still has 2 attempts to go, and now we are back to Fernando Reis of Brazil, 191 kilos.
He'll take that again.
No lift for Reis at 191. Is anybody else looking for that weight? No. So this is going to be a 2-minute clock.
I don't think that's a problem. Man, that was you can't get much closer than that.
He knows it.
Take a peek there at our scoring tower. Tells you everything you need to see with the progress of the meet. The athlete.
Reis is going to go to 192.
Oh, is he going up? That'll
Yeah.
get him a breather. So right now you see the athlete with the white around him just turned green. That means 192 is going to be the weight on the bar for the first attempt of Ruben Alexejev.
One of 2 Armenians in the session.
This is a competition within the competition. The 2 Armenians, only one of them can go to the Olympics. And Armenia, I think, is on a restriction, aren't they? They're down to 2 total.
They can have 2 men, 2 women. That's it for Tokyo. Assuming nothing else happens.
Correct.
That was cut that short.
Yeah, it was super fast and explosive.
But sometimes, you know, if it's too, I don't think it can be too fast. But if you're faster off the floor, sometimes you miss the timing of when the bar comes into the body.
And that's what you see that as ultimately as a timing miss?
Not necessarily. I just don't think he actually
I think like he
got enough
cut it short,
extension.
maybe.
Yeah, he cut it short.
Oh, right. You did say that, yeah. Okay, so now Badani. 192 is going to be called automatic increase, so that means they're going to burn the clock of Alexejev and force him to make a decision.
Yeah.
Do you come back out on a short 1-minute clock, or do you stay back there? And right now, Fernando Reis is on the stage, and he is not the lifter. So Heiss is not the lifter. He is out in the gate. He is. Alexejev needs to change the weight in order for Heiss to be there. Heiss would be next because a second attempt precedes a third.
So he's coming right out.
So Fernando will be next. Ruben Alexejev is going to follow himself at 192 kilos on a short 1-minute clock.
And he was back in the room. You know, it's not a long walk, but
for a super.
Super can be.
Might as well be a mile.
He's got a.
That's rough.
And if Fernando wants to, he can do the same thing here.
Burn his clock again.
If he wants.
He's going to come. He's ready.
But that, yeah, that is the thing. He was out here. He wanted the 92, but this one in front. And now Ruben Alexejev, who'll have an opportunity to get a one-attempt rest here, is on the razor's edge. He must make his third attempt if he wants to post a total. So now Fernando Heiss, Brazil, third attempt, 192.
Holds on. Way to come back.
So a miss with 191, an added kilo to 192, and a good lift for Fernando Heiss.
If he had relaxed for just a second there in the bottom, I think he would have lost it forward, but he held on.
And now we are at our first do-or-die moment of this session. Ruben Alexejev, Armenia, must make 192 on his third attempt in order to post a total.
He stays in the competition.
Excellent. You know, on that second attempt, he had to cut his process short because he came out with less time.
It's a little rushed.
So he was rushed because he took. That's why in the second lift, I kind of said I was about to say he looks like he's, you know, not going to have enough time, but he did have enough time, but he cut it short.
Yeah.
And this time he kind of went through his whole thing.
Yeah, he likes to spend some time over the bar.
Yeah.
And it worked.
All right, so 193 will now be loaded for the first attempt of Eduard Zazulin, Belarus. First time we're seeing him.
Beautiful. Wow, that was really sharp.
That is an opener, huh? That's the heaviest opener he's ever taken on a major stage. He opened with 91 in Batumi at the Europeans. He snatched that 93 in Ashgabat last year on a third.
Yeah, after missing it on the second.
Yep.
Right now.
93. He went with the 3 kilo jump. Chen Shishe.
He's looked really good.
thus far. All right. Maybe that looked a little heavy.
Yeah, it looked like it slowed in the hip a little bit,
Yeah.
almost a hitch. But credited with his second attempt, 190.
All right, so now it looks like 197 will be loaded for the second attempt of Moulaei Bahadour, Algeria. Opened with 191, made it nicely. This is a 6-kilo jump. Didyk is on deck waiting for on an 8-kilo jump, which would be a new junior world record.
Correct. It's 197 equals his best at a major competition, which was done at the Worlds last year on his third.
Go. That was too easy to miss.
Yeah, he's still got one more.
Yeah.
So that's a 2-minute clock.
You know, I thought his heels might have come up a little bit off the floor, so it might have been pulled forward a little bit
By the weight.
Maybe, and let's see if they're deciding to move up a kilo or not, or they're going to do that, and that's good because what that will do is bring out Ali Didyk.
198.
And then it also looks like Zazulin is sitting on 198, and that looks real. That's a 5-kilo jump, so that's possible. And right now, we were hoping for some snatch world record guys, snatch world records. This could be a lead-in to the senior, but Ali Didyk, 198 kilos. Second attempt, this would be a new junior world record.
A junior world record attempt.
เยาวชนโลกนะครับ
He does have one more.
That didn't look hard.
No, just a mistiming or minor technical error.
So Zazulin will be called to the bar at 198 here. This is right there, guys.
He kind of pushed it out on the explosion. It kind of came away from him.
Away from the body.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he looped it.
Yep. Yeah, he's got to just time the arms a little bit better when they come into play.
Well, Didyk will get a break because Edouard Zazulin will take this 198.
He looked impressive on his opener.
5-kilo jump here. And also right now, Bahadour is at 198, so he would be next.
Nice. Really strong.
Very strong. Very nice lift technically, too.
Yeah, I mean, everything right. Really good.
Two for two. I think it's safe to say you're going to see him north of 200 on his third attempt.
Yeah. We are inching toward that 200 mark.
Yeah, and there's still 5 guys left. I mean, you could see, we talked about it last year, Sean, a guy who snatched 200 kilos.
And lose.
Maybe may not even be 5th.
Right.
Number 10, 200.
200 is... I mean, I think we're going to be at 200 now because, well, no, Didyk will probably take this 199.
Interesting. Now remember, the junior world record is 197, so this would move him 2 kilos over that.
It's an odd decision.
Ali Davudi, third attempt, 199 kilos for a new junior world record and the lead in the snatch for the time being.
And his hands are barely outside of his legs.
Yeah.
Two nice efforts for Ali Davudi. One at 98, one at 99. Unfortunately, no lift.
It's going to cost him in the overall standing.
That will set him back. He was in this thing for a medal. Could still be, but he's got work to do.
Shuts his eyes on all the big lifts. Yeah. But he knows, he hears it. He hears the bar come down.
Well, it's tough because you can't give feedback if you're not watching the lift.
That's true. Well,
but at this point,
I mean, I don't know.
Presumably his eyes are open in the gym. We can safely assume that. Gor Manazian right now, one of 2 athletes we have yet to see. 200 kilos on the bar. Gor is a powerhouse, to put it lightly.
Very non-conventional, wide foot position,
position.
Wide hands. I mean, it's just.
Bar is barely over his head in the snatch.
And it all happens quickly.
He's collar to collar.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's just crazy. I mean, he's almost at parallel when he catches it. I mean, that's 200 kilos.
Right. That is just remarkable. Yeah, no, he catches. I think that one was
almost at parallel.
That was about at parallel.
I don't know if he can go much lower. To be honest.
Well, did you notice that, like, when his hips dropped in the starting position, the bar actually left the ground?
There is Lasha Talakhadze, a legend.
We've heard he's already done 190 in the back. Warm-ups at 190.
Moulaei Bahadour right now taking 200. Moving to second for the time. Oh, and he holds on.
That is great.
That's great. Coming off the miss at 197. I'm pretty sure that's a PR for him.
It's got to be the reaction alone of telling you. What a great effort.
Wow.
So 200 for Moulaei Bahadour of Algeria. Off a miss.
That's a great lift.
You don't even need to look it up. That reaction tells you what you need to know. Edward Zazulin.
And he's looked impressive.
He has indeed. 201 to move into the lead. This would cap off a perfect 3-for-3 series.
I think that right arm's got to get him.
Shoulder, that's not elbow.
2-1. He doesn't get it.
It's not.
I just don't think he's got the room. I mean, it's so slight. We know it.
You got
say
it's
it,
very slight.
but it's there.
Toychev was called on something similar, unfortunately.
So they're going to take a look at this.
Bit of a smirk over at the jury table, I'd say. I think they've made their minds up.
To review the lift.
You can see it.
No lift confirmed.
No lift. Thank you.
So they have confirmed the press out. A little press out is still a press out. Watch the right arm. There. That's enough to get a lift turned down.
No comment.
Waxman, uncharacteristically silent.
But with that miss, it means that Moulaei Bahadour is guaranteed a medal.
That's right.
And they are reacting quite well.
now, Gor Minasyan of Armenia, 207.
7-kilo jump. Let's see if this pushes him down below parallel. So this will move him up another 7 kilos with his lead.
Just remarkably strong.
It defies everything.
Yeah.
I mean, so 211 kilos will go in, or excuse me, 208 will go in as Minasyan's automatic increase.
Bosch has come down to 208.
Bosch has come down to 208.
Number 8, 212.
And right now, Minasyan is up to 212.
That would be a personal best for him. In the meantime, Lasha 208. He did 210 in the training hall about 4 or 5 days ago. There, in the history of the sport, I don't know that anyone has moved the bar with that much weight the way he moves it.
I know you're tired of me talking about him, but I think Pisarenko is was similar.
Watching Talakhadze, I am tired of you talking about Pisarenko. For as great a legend as he was,
I think Lasha.
enjoy the one that's in front of you right now.
I'll let you send me those videos. In the meantime, Lasha Tala, I mean, really, it looks, that was 208 kilos. It looks like,
Doesn't look like that.
looks like an empty
No, I
bar.
know. But Sean, you know, we're joking around about it, but I mean, there have been so many legendary super heavyweights.
Yes.
You know, and it's so hard to say who is really the
Few of
best
them
ever.
have ever moved
Yeah.
like Lasha.
Right now, Gor Minasyan, 212.
This is I mean, this is, what's his best? It's gotta
211, I think.
Okay. Holy smokes.
212 now.
I guess.
That was the real deal right there. 3 for 3, Gor Minasyan, 212 kilos.
That's one of the more impressive lifts I've seen this week. It's just like
Forever.
strength.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how high he is when he catches it. I mean,
Like you shouldn't be able to do that.
no.
And yet he can.
And yet he just did.
I don't know that he's any lower than on his opener,
No, he's
JP.
not. Holy cow.
You kept waiting for him to be pushed down. His hip said, no thanks.
And in fairness,
Well, he doesn't have to.
Minasyan's making Talakhadze work here.
Yeah.
You've got 215 now. This would win the gold medal in the snatch on a second attempt. So here's
Well, we're so
Lasha
used to him winning on the snatch on the first.
on the opener. Is it lighter than the opener? I mean, is it?
I think we're going to see that 220, right?
I hope.
You know, again, we said it in the pre-show,
219.
but 215 was a once-in-a-generation snatch, and Lasha, we've seen it, I think, every time we've seen him lift,
Yes.
we've been commentating.
Yes.
That's just remarkable.
The bar, when he punches out with such force, I don't know if you can tell, the bar actually shakes overhead. I'm serious, like you can't see it from that angle, but the bar is moving. It's so amazing, and 220 is declared. Will he go 221? And that's the thing, I just did it. He gives you something special in the first response. Just give me more.
Give me more.
It's odd to see that number on, like, where this or a snatch for a snatch.
220 kilos is the world record that Lasha Talakhadze did in Anaheim in 2017. The body weight classes were changed the next year, and all world records were wiped out. Since that time, he has done 216. I'm sorry, 212, which actually reset it. Then he did 217. Both of those were at the World Championships last year. Then he did 218
at the Europeans.
At the Europeans.
Yeah.
So the world record at this moment is 218. But if he is successful with this 220, he will return it to 220 kilos. And this is going to match the most ever in history of this sport. 220 kilos. Lasha Talakhadze, third attempt.
Doesn't even make it look hard.
It doesn't. And just like in 2017, when we said it then, you see that happen, and the only thing you think is he can do more.
Yeah, look at this. What? This just defies all logic.
All right, maybe he's better than Pisarenko.
Well, in the snatch he is. That is just crazy.
This is something we, for decades, never thought we'd see. A man snatching 220.
Oh,
we've now seen it twice. Right? And he's done it
since 2017.
More. Yeah. Just astonishing. It really defies all logic. Gold medal. Seems trivial to say he won the gold medal.
So there is, yeah, your gold medalist in the snatch. Kelsey in the warm-up room. What do you have for us?
Guys, Algeria is thrilled about this podium lift, winning bronze. They knew they had it. As soon as we got to the end of that competition there, they just went crazy in the warm-up room. It was super stoked to be on the podium.
It was off a miss, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
I forgot who. At this point, we forgot who.
Yeah, it's so long ago now.
Zazulin's miss with 201 is what did it. All right, so here is the 220 kilo winning effort from Lasha Talakhadze. Listen to this. And, you know, almost equally impressive just in terms of a guy who showed up in shape. Gormanasyan looked terrific, all three.
Yes, he did.
Of his attempts, 200, 207, 212.
Gormanasyan, any era, is one of the greats.
Yeah.
It just happens that Lasha is also walking the planet right now. I mean, 212.
You always see that. Like, I think back to like a Ronnie Weller during the Čemerkin era, right?
Yeah.
Like, you always see a great number two. Yeah, not supers, but very much. Unbelievable. All right, well, that'll do it in the snatch competition for the plus 109, and
that might be Algeria's
treated
first
to
medal,
this.
Huh?
Got to think about that.
Just impressive, brutish, strong. I mean, wow. I mean, like with Lasha, it doesn't even look like he's lifting when he's lifting. With Gore, it looks all of it. Like you can tell he's lifting a heavy weight.
212 kilos, yeah.
Right. With Lasha,
and that's sort of like the beauty of the movement and the deceptiveness of all this and the different body types. And, you know.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter as long as you make the lift.
So we're going to take a little break right now. There's much more to see at IWFnet on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can learn more about the championships and the amazing athletes on display here. Clean and jerks begin in just under 6 minutes, so we'll see you back here for that.
Welcome back to Pattaya, Thailand for the 2019 IWF World Championships. We are about to begin the plus 109 clean and jerk competition. And no shock at all, we were just treated to a gem. Lasha Talakhadze repeated the effort from 2017 and gave us a 220 kilo snatch. Third attempt.
But Gore, I mean, 212 is a historically high snatch.
And a guy with a 212 snatch on the board is now 8 kilos in the hole heading into the clean and jerk.
Crazy.
Strange days we live in, gentlemen.
Now our bronze medal winner in the snatch is now out first in the clean and jerk.
Yeah, and you had made a point that there was something funky about what he does. So 222 kilos. Moulaei Bahadour, first attempt. Should be okay.
Gets on the board with that. He bombed in the jerk last year. I think with 220. Yeah, so that's good.
You see that back foot, it's a little strange. I don't know if you can see from this angle.
You can. Well, yeah, he's sort of like leaned in toward the instep.
And he's flat-footed.
Yeah, which is unstable.
Yes.
All right, so Bahadour's going to take a jump to 230. Before we get too far ahead, 241 kilos is the lead right now. Man Assad.
That's a
from Syria.
Big clean and jerk.
Yuri Orsag attempted 250 in the B.
Not much more than a deadlift, but
attempted.
He had them loaded. He had them loaded.
So now we will see Edward Zazulin, and his third attempt, 201 kilo miss, would have been a bronze. As it is, it left him fourth. And similar, we see this sometimes, guys who did well in the snatch competition out early in the clean and jerk.
Yeah, it's a tough turnaround, you know, because to open up with this weight, you're probably looking at 6 or so warm-ups, you know, and you need probably at least 3 minutes or so between attempts or 3.
Yeah.
So these guys finish, and then they got to go right away into the clean and jerk. It's tough.
You know, you have that 10-minute clock, but still, I mean, how much are you going to do?
That's two or three. It's 3 attempts maybe. You know, in that 10 minutes.
Mohsen Dadras of Iran, 225 right now. Made 186 in the snatch, missed 190 in his third.
Was that out in front? And that's the unforgiving nature of that power jerk.
Right. No margin of error.
in a lift that already has a small margin of error.
Right.
The jerk.
Good clean.
Pops his feet out wide, and then
You know, it was a good.
balance.
He had it in the right spot. He just didn't secure it overhead. Now, I wouldn't have changed anything except you got to keep pushing up on the bar.
All right, so now 225 stays on. First attempt, Fernando Reis, Brazil.
This should be an easy opener for him.
He just did 230 a couple of weeks ago to win the Pan Am Games.
Should be a good lift for Heiss. 3 white lights. Looks like an easy opener, like you said, Sean.
Yeah.
And it looks like Dodras is going to come back here. Coach Steve Galvan putting in
230.
an increase there for Heiss up to 230.
And
So
brings
Mosen-
out Dodras again up here on. Same way, 225. Great clean on the opener. Jerk just was not there. Second attempt for him.
Your elbows on that. Yeah, his clean is gotten a little slower off the floor. It's like he's has to work a little harder to stand up.
And the issue here, he had to grind through that a bit, but the issue here is now he's on a 2-minute clock. He's going to have to follow himself.
So he jumped forward a little bit.
Did something similar on the first.
Yeah, I think, you know, don't know why that's happening.
Now this is rough because
Right.
I don't know that he was fully recovered for that clean. Like you said, Sean, the clean was a little harder.
Yeah.
And he had an attempt in between. So.
And there's really nowhere for him to go.
No, he'd have to go to
Yeah,
230.
I was just going to say there's Lasha on screen there. By the way, if Lasha wins again, that'll be 4 world championships in a row with an Olympics in between.
Wow.
In between the 15 and 17.
All right, well.
He's going up to 230.
Well, you know, it's a calculated risk because you have to weigh the benefit of going up versus, you know, and getting some rest as opposed to going right away with the same weight.
Yeah. These guys, they're big athletes lifting big weight. They need some of that rest.
And it doesn't look heavy. He's not missing it because it's heavy. It's just precision-wise, it's all.
All right, so now Ali Davuti, first attempt, 230.
Very nice lift by our one junior athlete. He's 7 kilos away from his own junior world record with that 230.
And he took a 9-kilo jump in the snatch from his first to his second attempt, and off an effort like this, don't be shocked if you see an 8-kilo jump here.
Thank you. 10 to 31.
Algeria
Number
going up
10,
to 230.
231.
No, 231.
Yes, and
That's a big increase. There's a lifter from Chinese Taipei.
Chen Shi taking a warm-up there.
Brazil putting a change in.
231 for Hayes.
231.
He's got another change if he wants it, but that's going to bring back Dodris.
He's got, you know, he's had decent rest.
Should be okay. Yeah, I mean, by now, in terms of rest, should be okay, right?
And again, you know, I don't disagree with going up. If he was struggling, I mean, the clean was a little slow, so if he can overcome that, I think, you know, he has a chance to make the jerk, because the jerk wasn't heavy, just a little bit of a technical issue. I worry about this clean, though.
Yeah.
All right. So Muhsin Dodris, Islamic Republic of Iran, missed 225 kilos on his first and second attempts. He's elected to go up 5 kilos to 230. Now he must make this to post a total. No lift.
You got to kind of go back to the drawing board with him on the jerk, because, you know, he's not. He's going to hurt himself, you know, with the way he's missing.
Yeah, that didn't look great. Just tried sinking lower. I'm not sure that's the right move.
He's got to. I mean,
the bar drift back,
but but he had it in the right spot.
His feet were the bar was never over the base of support.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, so now, what's this, a 9 kilo jump?
This is a big jump.
For Badani. 222 to 231 for his second attempt. Now watch the position of the back foot. Stable.
He's gotten better.
Wow, yeah, holds on.
He's gotten better.
And Badani is building quite the impressive total for himself, 431 kilos, and he's got one more to go.
Yeah. And that 200 kilo snatch really makes a difference.
And that, by the way, moves him into the lead. That's the first lifter to get ahead of the B group leader of 430 kilos.
Right now, Fernando Heiss, 232 kilos.
This would give him a 424 kilo total.
Good.
Yeah. But I don't know how much more he's going to want to do.
2-1 in his favor. Not sure what the ref didn't like.
Well, we've established it. We're not going to really understand that this week.
That looked good to me. It looked just as good as the first, if not better.
And if you go over Heiss's history, what, 240?
I think that's the most, yeah. I think he's tried more.
He's tried more, 47, 45. Okay, so now Zazulin, 9-kilo jump. 234 kilos if successful. This would move him into the lead for now. 424 kilo to 432 kilo total on this. 433, excuse me.
Oh, crashed on him. I think he might have swung it a little bit. I couldn't tell, but I definitely crashed on him. Well, not too bad, but yeah, you can't do that.
Just enough, though. I mean, with that much weight.
Yeah.
Okay, so a 2-minute clock.
It's the worst.
For Zazulin, it looks like they're going to leave it, and I was, just to correct my math real quick here, we give him a
4:32.
4:32, which is what he'd need to take the lead. See there, Toychev getting ready. He would be next.
Toychev just has been struggling in the back room a little bit, so.
Note we got 7:230 rough.
Yeah.
That could mean a couple of different things.
Lasha Talakhadze, who's currently listed at opening with 247.
Looks like Lasha's, what is that, 200?
Warming up with 200. Casual lift for him.
Yeah, 200 kilos.
That was his last warm-up in the snatch.
Yeah.
Really.
So Zazulin looks like he's coming out for this 234 kilos, third attempt.
Better clean.
Good job.
All right. Nice effort there, 4 for 6.
Little kiss for the weights.
432 kilo total.
Yeah, that's strong.
He looked great.
Yeah, it's a nice total. It's a good lift. Made that correction from his second, and great position. He's a good lifter.
So now 235, Hoja Toychev, Turkmenistan, first attempt. That looks solid.
Yeah.
So if he was struggling in the back, he's not struggling out here.
Not
on the big, not where it matters. That was solid.
Bar stays at 235.
Chen Shishe. And keeping an eye on the board, it looks like Gorman Asian moved down from 240 to 237, so we'll see him in a bit. And quietly, Ali Davuti has taken a 10-kilo jump from 230 to 240.
Wow.
That's 3 kilos over the junior world record. But right now, Chen Shishe, Chinese Taipei, first attempt, 235 kilos.
this lift. Nice job. Okay. He's got a really short dip.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
He's been lifting a long time. 245. Bunch of attempts and lifts over 240.
Well, Coach Lin just put in 245 for Chinese Taipei. That'd be a 10-kilo increase. We'll see if that happens. In the meantime, Moulaei Bahadour.
236.
Nope.
This would be a 5-kilo jump. He wants more.
238.
They are slapping it on. Why not?
He's already having a day, right? So
might as well finish it big.
Yeah, and even if even if it doesn't make this, he still has a great total.
Sure.
Right now, Fernando Reis of Brazil, 236. This is not far off his best international.
So much for not pushing, I guess.
Maybe he heard you.
That second clean and jerk was the jerk especially was tough.
Yeah, and he's building his way back. 230 is what he did to win the Pan Am Games a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
So he's done that much. I mean, this is kind of a build off of that. He's already got 32 on the board here. It took a 236, finishing now, despite that miss, with a 424. So, as we said at the beginning, we think Fernando's prospects for Tokyo are quite good. I would also probably say the same for Moulaei Bahadour out of Algeria.
Yeah.
You know,
either be at the top 8 or
continental,
best in
very
Africa.
similar.
Yeah.
All right, so now Gore Manassian, first attempt, 237. He's a silver medalist in the snatch. 212 effort.
Strong. Nice lift. He looks better than he's looked last year.
Well, he's clearly in form. I mean, clearly in form.
Catches it as high as he does
I
the
don't
snatch.
think he has a bottom. That's his bottom position.
It might be.
I don't know. His hamstring might be squeezing against his calf in that position. He might not be able to go down anymore.
All right, looks like a declaration going in for Manassian. We still have yet to see
245.
Alexejev, right?
Right. Athletes, Alexejev, and of course,
20-kilo difference in the snatches. I mean, Alexejev's got ground to cover.
Number 4, down 240.
So Alexejev moved down to 240. Now there's a change. Bahadour looks like he'll be the lifter. 7-kilo increase to 238 kilos if successful. A 438-kilo total. And I got to imagine that's probably...
His PR total is 420. Yeah. He's already well above that.
Yeah. He's already having a day to remember.
Yeah, he's never clean and jerked over 225 from what I can tell.
No,
actually, he did 226 at the African Championships earlier, but still
231.
231 today.
4 for 6, 431 kilo total. Without a doubt, a great showing from Bahadour. And now 240 for Didyk. Junior world record attempt, 3 kilos over the current junior world record, and it's not enough.
It looks like they're putting in for more weight. They want 243.
243.
So that would actually give him a little more time, interestingly. Would put Alexejev of Armenia on the clock at 241.
Okay, so now here is Alexejev,
Might have caught him off
241.
guard there a bit.
Maybe.
241, first attempt. He needed all 3 snatches to make one. Got 192 on his last. Good lift.
I mean, that's a 241 kilo opener.
Wow. He looks good for more.
He does. He's opened as heavy as 245, but on the day that he did it at the Olympics, that was all that he made. And is something up here?
I think he hurt his back. Oh, maybe not.
I think he's just walking like a super. Okay, so now Lovčev, 242, second attempt. Made his opener with 235. Currently sitting on a 415 total, which has him in 11th. If he's successful here, he will move up to 8th place, but the lead in the clean and jerk.
So this would be a PR for him as well in the clean and jerk.
I hope they don't get him for this.
It's a good left, and they take that away from him.
No. 3 red lights.
Hopefully the jury doesn't.
Not sure where he goes from there, but that was a nice lift. And a PR in the clean and jerk.
All right.
That was a great lift.
Great fight.
I mean, it looks like a maximum, to be honest with you. But hopefully not. Great timing of the jerk.
Okay, so Hoja on the board there, 2 for 2, and quietly the lifter on stage now, Chen Shishe, moved down, I think from 245, and put in that 242 that you see him about to take right here. Second attempt. Doesn't even rest on his shoulders when he cleans it.
Champ, 242 kilos.
All right,
he's
so
following himself.
242, 2-minute clock. Watch, I mean, look when he gets the bar on his shoulders here. It's like it's not even resting as he stands up.
No, it's not.
Wow.
Look at this 242 kilos.
That was like Čemerkin back then.
Yes.
Took about 240 for the bar to even touch his chest. And in that case, yeah, it doesn't really hit it.
All right, so
declared.
a declaration of 242. Ali Didyk would be next at 243.
13-kilo increase from Didyk opener.
Well, I mean, he took an 8, then a 9. You know, he tacked on another one. So an 8-kilo actual increase from his first to his second in the snatch. Does this surprise you, a 13-kilo jump?
Listen, a 13-kilo jump is always surprising. That's a lot. Anything more than 10, even 10 is big. I know percentages and whatnot, but 10 kilos at these maximal efforts is a lot. Got about a minute remaining for Chen Shijia of Chinese Taipei. This is rough. He's got to come out. Less rest than he would like, I'm sure.
Chen Shijia, 242.
I mean, his clean was good, and he's going to need to repeat that effort on this to have a chance to make that jerk.
Yeah, if not better.
Because he struggled in the jerk a little bit.
If successful, this would give him a 431.
Wow, it doesn't even be right. Doesn't even sit on his body.
Just a little too much.
Yeah.
But a nice showing. I mean, he looked to be in shape at 242. Not to be today, and he clipped his head. I don't know if you see that. He's bleeding. Looks like he's all right. They may want to clean that bar off. I don't even know if he knows he's bleeding. But watch the bar just kind of shave.
Ooh.
Didyk moved up. 242.
Dibouty's at 244.
Okay.
So it's now Gore Minazian, 243. I think he did 245 last year. That's just easy.
245 last year.
I think he missed 250 on his third, but here 243. He looks good for 250 this year.
I think
Certainly in the jerk.
I think he's gonna, you know, having been out a little bit earlier in the clean and jerk than some of the players in this field, I think maybe he's gonna secure the silver with his third attempt.
He's at 455 right now.
I know, but you never know.
So this will put Didyk into second.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would take something pretty crazy for.
We give him a world record, junior world record in the clean and jerk, and junior world record in the total. He already owns them, but it would
increase
further them. Yeah.
Double down, as they say.
So give him a 434. World record in the clean and jerk, world record in the total, junior, if successful here. No. Perhaps a little too aggressive. A long wait in the back. Pre-shrug, it just might be too much. I mean, that's a
well,
fair
it sounds like too. The last lift he took was 10 minutes ago.
Right.
Oh, he's just been sitting from what we know?
I think so. I mean, he took 220 in the warm-up room, and
so he hasn't
that was
done
10
anything?
minutes ago. That he took to 220, I think, after his opener. But that was, again, that was 10, 11 minutes.
Yeah, I don't have any updates on him since then.
It's tough to sit that long and do nothing.
Yeah. Clock is running on him.
So right now, Didyk 244. Situation remains the same if successful. A junior world record in the clean and jerk. and total. And you know, it's just funny. He just doesn't care what the current numbers are. He does not need this much.
Yeah.
This would move him 2 kilos over the current junior world record total. And 7 over the current junior world record clean and jerk.
Nope. Same thing.
Sometimes the brain doesn't let you do some things that might kill you.
Sometimes the old survival instinct kicks in.
So it's part of our evolutionary process.
You're big on that today.
As you mentioned, we've been weightlifting for 4 million years, so we've had a chance. You know,
well,
natural selection has weeded out those.
It's because you guys are science deniers. Don't blame it on me.
You know who's a science denier? Lovčev. He doesn't believe in gravity.
Yeah,
it's just nuts. Right now, one of the two Armenians, Alexejev, 245. Second attempt for him.
Hoja, Toychiev, and Minazian both sitting on 250, by the way. Lasha would be next at 247.
Think that's going to stay?
If Alexejev is successful, yes. I could see that. We know that Lasha's done 235 in the back already. I think he's going to be okay, but they might take a peek for an elbow touch on that left arm.
Really? No. 3 white lights. I didn't see anything.
It happened quickly.
Beats the bar up.
No, I'm saying I don't know if he touched it. It was close. That's all that I'm saying. Nah, it wasn't that close. Never mind. Beats the bar up.
Yeah, he just beats it up. It's great.
It was almost short.
Well, it means back foot's flat, the knee's straight.
He just wedged underneath there to make that happen. So he does have another attempt. He'll sit on a 246 for the moment. Lasha's on stage before he's been called, but he will ultimately be called. So Lasha's out and ready for that 247. They just have to wait for a declaration to go in. And if the Armenian coaches want to be cute here, they can let this sit. Just leave it alone.
No, they just put in 248. So now.
So there's the change for Lasha, 247. So here's Lasha Talakhadze, first attempt, 247 kilos. 260 would give him a 480, so keep an eye, see if he tracks toward that. As it is, this would give him a 467.
Wow.
Uh-oh. All right, hold on. That was coming forward a bit.
Yeah. Listen, he's strong enough. Did not matter at that weight. So I think it's safe to say.
I think 260 is the number for that 480 total, because that's a crate. I mean, that's just like
well,
a
apparently
comic
you
book.
still wouldn't be happy, but I agree.
Oh, why? You're talking about the 466? The 66?
Waxman wants to see 266.
Well, but
everybody wants to.
480's pretty crazy, too.
It is very
so
crazy.
they're already jumping to 255, so I think that 260 is a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're not messing around here with little jumps. I mean, they're making pretty healthy declarations. They did the same thing in the snatch. And you see here, when he comes forward just a little bit, he's fighting that back.
Right now, third attempt for Minazian.
He dropped from 250 to 248.
Let's give him a 460 total. That is huge.
It is. And 6 for 6.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
6 for 6.
He had a great
248. And even if he doesn't get a medal in the clean and jerk, which is a possibility, that 460 total is going to hold up. I mean,
oh, yeah. I don't think he's touchable.
Who's going to knock him out?
Nobody.
Of at worst.
And that's a PR total for him.
Unbelievable.
That was fun to watch him.
Okay, so we're just looking at the board, and it looks like Toychev has passed his third attempt. He's going to leave it with a 3 for 5,
I think
422 day. That 242,
I think that's the wise move.
Yeah.
that looked like a max effort to you. It was a personal best, I think.
And he's not going to win a medal. You know, he's done a great, you know,
Armenia has declined as well now.
So they have just cleared the deck.
They just said, Lasha, do whatever you want to do.
We are down to our final 2 attempts of the 2019 World Championships. Both of them belong to Lasha Talakhadze.
Wow.
255 kilos.
Do you think he's going to stay with that?
Yes, it appears he's coming out.
He's coming out for 255.
This would give him a 475. The only question is will he take another?
I don't think so.
Do you think that's it?
That might be it today. 475. Already reset the snatch record. Look at that. Better than his opener.
Yeah.
My God. 255.
Just a few kilos away from the world record as it stands at 478. We'll see if that gets tested next. While we're on a 2-minute clock here for Lasha. Kelsey, what do we have in the warm-up room?
Guys, I just asked Turkmenistan's Toychev why he wasn't going to take his third attempt. He said that 242 clean and jerk was a personal best. He's going to call that good for the day.
All right, thank you. And right now, 264. And do you think he's going to take that, or do you think he's going to do the 66?
I think he's going to take 264.
What's the significance there, though?
Of
Beats
64?
Reza Zadeh did 263 or 263.5.
Yeah.
So he's going to peck Reza Zadeh first, and then he's going to go after Taranenko at the Olympics or
and
something.
the other thing, too, Sean, this gets you above like that mythical 480.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
look, 478, the current world record has never been. He's the only one that's ever done it in any change.
Right.
You know, in the history, 478 is the highest total we've ever seen. Nobody has ever gone over 480. Obviously, if he makes this, he's going to blow right past it.
Yeah.
So we could be looking at another historic moment in the sport of weightlifting.
Right.
264, third attempt.
480. Talakhadze.
This will give Lasha a
480. What is 484?
484.
Remarkable.
This is for history right here. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Remarkable. Lasha Talakhadze with 264 kilos.
a monstrous 484 total. Something that
has never happened.
Beyond unprecedented. I don't even know.
Just soak this in.
Lasha Talakhadze, strongest man currently walking the planet, maybe ever in the sport.
So now, look at that. And now, I mean, the most prolific snatch, you know, the athlete who owns the most prolific snatch in history has now made his stamp on the clean and jerk.
Yeah.
And he's done it together.
And, you know, I think he's been content to build his legacy over a couple years. Now he surpasses Reza Zadeh with that 264 clean and jerk. And Sean, I bet he's thinking next up, Taranenko.
That's the only mountain not climbed.
Right. Exactly. I mean, it's the only thing he hasn't accomplished in the sport. You know, is that
the all-time
all-time. This is Reza Zadeh was an all-time for his time.
Yeah. But that 484.
But let's not overlook Gore.
No.
I mean, he was incredible.
All right. Kelsey, down in the warm-up room, you have some reaction.
Yeah, what a celebration. This is the first time that I've seen other athletes and coaches cheering for another athlete. Clearly it's just a historic moment back here in the warm-up room. Hugs, high fives all around down here, guys.
Yeah, competitors know something amazing when they're seeing it. And that's something, too, Sean, you talked about earlier in the week when Xu Zhiyang, right, power cleaned 190 in the entire, like, the wave that went through the room. I mean, this creates that, this moment, 264 creates that kind of...
Yeah, I mean, it's different than with the power clean because you didn't know it was coming. This,
Isn't that also what Lovčev did?
64, yes, Lovčev did 64 as well. So it ties...
Well, that was taken away.
Yeah, well, he still did it.
Lasha Talakhadze.
Do you guys think a 500 kilo total is possible? I mean, to say the craziness, I mean, could it be?
I don't know.
How can you say anything is not possible with him?
I wouldn't have said a 220 snatch is possible a few years ago.
The only
thing, done it multiple times.
The only thing that might stop it is the lack of competition at that level.
You know what, though? He seems content to compete against himself.
He's been competing against himself for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And he's still moving the total
But
up.
here's the problem. Like, as those mythical numbers rise, he has to start at a certain point. Like, he can't make stupid high openers.
And he never, I mean, like, when was the last time he missed?
Well, I don't even remember. But the point is,
I think he did miss. No, maybe he passed at the Europeans this year.
Yeah, that's a dash. So he missed a 221 in Bucharest in 2018. All right, here are the results in the clean and jerk competition in the plus 109. And another special moment. And look at that. Look at the white on the board, guys. The only red are 2 past attempts. Yuri Orsog down in the B made his first 2, but you see that in the top 5. I mean, these guys all the way through the lineup here were making lifts.
Yeah.
And here are the results in the total.
Just remarkable.
That gold across.
Top 10, all of
220, 264, 484.
That's
And Gore Minasian with a
460.
remarkable.
How many times would 460 win? And he lost by 24 kilos.
It's just.
that's crazy.
I mean, he didn't lose. But
That's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he has managed, Lasha, has managed to really just, to shock the weightlifting world again.
Yeah.
You know, he repeated the 220 from 2017, reestablishing that as the senior world record.
And an all-time record.
An all-time lift.
Doing it again.
Yeah, he's now done it twice. Nobody has ever snatched more officially. And now with 264, you're right. He passes
Reza Zadeh.
the historic lift of Hossein Reza Zadeh, and we know that that wasn't the most of all time. That was 266, and really,
Well, it is the most of all time. Is that
Is that
484?
yeah.
By a significant margin.
Right.
I mean, it's just,
Right.
is he the greatest super heavyweight of all time?
Yes.
Yeah.
You didn't even flinch.
No, we are looking at the greatest super of all time. He'll get that clean and jerk, and even if he doesn't, if he never touches a barbell again,
He's the greatest
He's
super
earned that
heavyweight of all
spot.
time.
and I think it's safe to say he did so today.
484 is, I mean, I don't even know what to say. There's nothing to say.
Leaves a wordsmith like you speechless.
Please
Tough to
welcome
do.
the athletes.
A 26-kilo win.
24 kilo.
Was it 24?
Yeah.
The medals will be presented by
24-kilo win on somebody that the second place, like you said,
First
460.
President of the IWF and Vice President of the Thailand Olympic Committee. Kaki Kakiashvili, President, Georgian Weightlifting Federation. Chena Yudonkin Panya, President, Southeast Asia Weightlifting Federation. And Ali Maradi, President, Iranian Weightlifting Federation. First, the medals in the snatch. The bronze medalist representing Algeria, Walid Badani. Silver medalist representing Armenia, Gore Minasian. Gold medalist representing Georgia, Masha Talakhadze. Your medalists in the snatch. Thank you, gentlemen. Now, the medalists in the clean and jerk. The bronze medalist representing Armenia, Ruben Alexejev. Silver medalist representing Armenia, Gore Minasian. Gold medalist, representing Georgia, Masha Talakhadze. The medalists in the clean and jerk. Thank you, gentlemen. Now, the medalists in the total. The bronze medalist representing Armenia, Ruben Alexejev. Silver medalist representing Armenia, Gor Minasyan. Gold medalist and world champion representing Georgia, Masha Talakhadze. Now the presentation of the gifts. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Georgia. Congratulations to the medalists.
There is your world champion, Lasha Talakhadze, brought the house down with a truly historic performance today in the men's plus 109 category. Capping off these 2019 World Championships in unforgettable fashion. At the close of these worlds, here is the final medal table. China, 53. A truly remarkable performance across 10 days. DPRK behind with 24, just under half. Georgia, 7, thanks in no small part to Lasha Talakhadze. This has been an absolute